Okay. So we just played Nurgle against Gitz. And I honestly don't know how you're supposed to beat Nurgle. Not like how you're supposed to beat it, but I actually don't know. Like, if I was giving advice to someone like, oh, like, I'm playing Nurgle, like, what kind of units should I bring? It's like, fast, I guess?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, when it comes to, like, the composition of an army, like, how many of those fast units do you bring? You know, like, if you built an army to beat it, that's one thing, because then you could pour a bunch of mobility to go against how slow they are. But if you're going against a typical Warhammer list that's fairly balanced, you know, if you don't allow those mobile units to score well, they won't really get around you.
I think one of the things, too, that makes Nurgle really hard to play against is that it's like breaking some of the rules of the game, specifically around deployment. Like we were saying, like, in that game, it's, what does the Squig Boss do?
Yeah, the little buffing units that want to hug those units to give those buffs and stuff with that Plague Propagator is a problem. Like, it...
But how many units like that are in... Like, I'm thinking of Orcs and Goblins, right? I can't think of how many other units need to, like, be within 3 inches to do their thing. It's like Gobapalooza, I think.
Yeah, it's more the buffing units too, like not really like the combat ones that need to be like they don't really
that's
count.
Relatively easy,
but you could keep those spaced out easy enough.
But it's, again, it's like okay, so like how many? We're essentially asking the question, like, how many different armies does it really screw over if they have to deploy all together? So it's like, well, any army that's got tons of infantry. So recently I interviewed a guy who was playing 3 units of reinforced gut rippers, 60 gut rippers, and then 4 times 7. So 42 monster killers. So it's like 104 infantry units. No monsters, and then some supporting infantry stuff. Right. So it's like that screws that list. The whole army, it was deployed in a line across the center of the battlefield, like hugged tight all together. It's like those lists are in big trouble.
The thing is, though, is like you can only get multiple things tagged with disease with the spread. So it's like if you're spaced out, you're probably only going to end up getting 1 unit diseased a turn once you're close enough. You know, but if you're good with your spacing against Nurgle, which is probably honestly the biggest part to trying to beat them, is understanding how their army mechanics works and rocking that spacing so that you can't get...
But again, that's like such an advantage. Like, I've been talking and learning a lot about Hellsmiths of Hashut recently, and their whole thing is like, oh, they're just fair Warhammer. They're just fair Warhammer. Their stuff shoots far, but there's no teleports. There's like, so their strike last mechanic comes from their infantry ranged units with blunderbusts. Okay, and it's a roll, and I think you need a 5-up. I think I'd have to look it up. I guess I can look it up right now. But you have to roll. You get like a bonus to the roll based on how many models you killed in the shooting attacks.
Right.
Okay. So if you, so it works against some targets really well, but not against others. So you're not striking a monster last, for example. It's just not on the table. Hellsmiths can't do that. And if you like use auto defense, or if the Hellsmiths player doesn't put their demonic power points into the shooting, then they don't get any rend. It's actually 0 rend. Yeah. So it's like, there's lots of ways where it's like you don't get the strike last, and then you play Nurgle with Slaven Knights, it's a 2-up.
Yeah.
Right? It's a 2-up strike last. And it's on a fast, relatively, for Nurgle, fast unit. And a unit that is survivable. So, like, it'll stay through. It's not like you're going to wipe it out with Bounders, Impact Mortals, suddenly, and it's gone, right? Like, it's going to stay around and keep doing what it's doing.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's like not fair Warhammer. Nurgle's like the opposite of that.
Yeah, it has a lot of mechanics in its army that shut down. Like, especially now that you got to really space your stuff out to try and, like, now you're playing way more spread out. I mean, leaning into Nurgle with like a heavy shooting army's never felt good with their ward saves across the board.
Yes.
Mortal wound mechanics don't ever feel good playing into Nurgle because they got a ward save across the board. Like it's like they have a lot of stuff. Like with some of the new units that they got added to the range, they have a lot of like attack power that's added to the army that they didn't really have as much of before. Like the disease mechanics, like previous were way more about stacking the disease on and stuff, like more second edition, right? Like so the disease went through, like all your attacks tickled, but you stacked a bunch.
Yes.
The disease feels a little less impactful, but the damage went up on a lot of things.
Well, like what's a fair comparison from like a previous edition, like before the Rotswords? What unit would you say was like the hammeriest in the Nurgle?
Depend. Anything with good volume of attacks, like the Rotmar Kree were very good about getting the plague on in like second edition where they stacked it. The Blight Kings, right? They used to have like a way better save. They used to be the Rotswords in the army before, and now they've kind of got this weird role where they drop their save down and they don't really feel like the tanky unit that they once were. They've kind of been replaced by the Rotswords now, right? But it used to be like volume of attacks, right? Because every 6 stacked another disease, right? So that's how it worked in second, right?
And it's so good though. Like so they're 2 attacks each. It's got a champion, a musician, and a standard bearer. It's got that 6-up / 5-up ward most of the time.
Yeah.
On a 3-up, your opponent loses commands against it.
That's if they charge you.
Which can be really impactful. You're right, if they charge you.
Yeah, they're very, like, they stack heavily if you charge into them.
And then it's the what 2 heroes is it again?
You want to take the Lord of Plagues?
Lord of Plagues. That's it?
Sorry?
Is he the... Yeah, so
Yeah.
But basically it's like on a 2-up... Oh, that's nothing. Plus when you do it for combat rolls... That did not charge. So again, it's like don't charge.
It stacks, but then he's got the 2-up roll, gives them an extra attack. And then you can put artifact on him that gives a 3-up to give +1 attack. So you can potentially get +2 attacks on the Rotswords.
So doubling their
if
damage.
they're wholly within. Yes.
And that also is really
nice. And wounding on 2s if they're wholly within 12 of him.
So you're basically always reinforcing them. Like this edition. So you're going so it's like 40 attacks into potentially 60 attacks into potentially 80 attacks.
I also, something that didn't come up
80
in our...
dice? Are you throwing 80 dice with these guys?
Potentially, man, yeah.
With crit 2 hits?
Yeah,
well,
potentially.
Let's...
And something that didn't come up in our game because I didn't really need to was I always all-out D those guys. So then they're on a 2-up save, which is also gross, right? Like, they have a 3-up save, too. Like, they have output and they can take damage. So like now they're super
3-up 5-up, right?
Super staple. I can't build a list that doesn't have Rotswords in it. It's the first thing I put in.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Well, I mean, it's something that just goes and takes the middle, and it's like it wants to be charged. You know, no one wants to go into that volume of attacks or that potency. If they're underneath the tree, they get a 5-up ward, right? So it's like you always hover them underneath the tree.
And do they get like +1 to wound?
+1 to wound, yeah. If they didn't charge, right?
Right. So we're just assuming like best case scenario. 1 rend, 1 damage, right? 3, 3, 1, 1. So 3, 2, 1, 1. 4 attacks. Add modifier. Exploding on a 6. Okay. So against a 4-up save, they're dealing 37 damage.
Yeah.
If fully buffed.
Yeah, me and Shay even were doing some test rolls like against his Varangard. Like he was running like Varangard into them, and like he would swing like to see what kind of damage output, and it was like they could weather that storm, man, and even swing back and do enough damage to the Varangard so that their second combat wasn't as impactful, and like Rotswords were still on the table after 2 rounds of combat from Varang. You know, it's like they're good. You just got to really make sure and be patient with them. Play patient. Hover under the trees. Don't overextend. Let them come to you. Put them in a position where they're going to come to you. You know, if someone's playing the treasures for their tactics, like, put them on their Rotswords. No one wants to fight them. No one wants to kill them.
Yeah.
They're very, very, very good.
Seems pretty good to me. Oops, why isn't this working?
And then with
it's a lot of damage.
With the combos with the Slavan Knights, I mean, they just, all of it combos so well together.
Oh my god, are you joking? They're 10 damage per 100 points. This has to be a mistake. There's no way this is what they are. There's no way. So 20 models, right? Reinforced unit.
Yeah.
Three attacks. This is if you only get one bonus attack.
You're doing it kind of averagey, right? Because one's a 2-up roll, right? So it's like it's
one.
You know, like if you don't charge, so you're usually getting one. The minimum I usually get is 3
How
attacks.
guaranteed is that +1 to wound?
It's guaranteed if you get charged and you're wholly within 12 of the hero.
And then one rend, one damage,
not a roll
and to
for
hit
that.
on a 6, it's 1 extra attack. Yeah, dude, this is nuts.
It's bonkers, man.
And then it's 400 points, right, for a reinforced unit. Okay, so what if there are only 2 attacks? There has to be something I'm missing. I don't know what it is. I wish I was streaming. Someone in chat would let me know. But it's too late. All of Europe is asleep right now, and like most of the East Coast is even asleep. Nobody ever watches my stream late at night. There's gotta be an error. There's something I'm missing. Okay, so sorry, Eric. Let me put this into a better context. So I always say that if something is like a 5.
Yeah, I remember you were talking to me about this.
5 is really good. So like, for example, if I look at, let's compare them to Gutrippas, for example. So a reinforced unit of Gutrippas with full attacks is dealing 23 damage, right? And this is, this isn't a full reinforced unit. But this number doesn't change. Because if I double the unit's size, the math doesn't change.
Okay.
Right? Because it's sorry, that was the wrong number.
Is there any heroes that can benefit these Gutrippas though to give them extra stuff though, right? Because you're looking at numbers that are based off with that hero being there. If they were just 2 attacks by themselves, they're 2 attacks, 3s and 3s with crit 6 hits. Right? So like there is a bit of a stack with the comboing unit, but it combos very well because it's not one of those characters that needs to be in combat range. So you just hover them back. It's wholly within 12. You just maintain that castle of... You want your Rotswords wholly within 12 of a tree and wholly within 12 of the Lord of Plagues always.
No, I was making a mistake. I was pulling I knew there had to be a problem because it was
you had the points off?
It was pulling from the wrong cell. I was pulling from the A1 instead of E1.
Okay.
Because I'm just like copying over my stuff. So that was a little error. So these ones are all mistaken as well. But this will fix it. Bam. Okay, so that's still really good though. Like I said, like the Gutrippas fully buffed up were like 7, like almost 8. And they're like a mortal wound blender. Right?
Yeah.
So your guys fully buffed up are 9.26 or like 7.
Yeah, it's like you don't delete units that go into you all the time. Like, depends what it is. But it's like you do enough damage and you still have enough bodies sitting there because you like we're talking just damage. Like we're not talking durability yet on a 3-up save, potentially 2-up with all out D.
So it's a better comparison to compare them.
Yeah,
to
like
it's
yeah, you got to look at it. These are Ard boys that do that damage.
No, they're better than Ard boys because Ard boys just have a 3-up.
Yeah,
they don't have a 5-up ward. They have a 6-up ward at best.
Yeah, these guys got a 3-up with a 5-up ward underneath a tree with all that damage.
Which is very easy to do.
Yeah,
that's why you play Slimix. By the way, it's just for consistency.
Yeah, dude, I can't. He's really good to keep the trees on top. The second tree helps too, and they also get to rally hard under the tree. That didn't come on in our game either. The tree adds 3 to the. So it's like even when you kill a bunch of Rotswords and like if they can clean up the unit that they've fought, they can rally the next turn, right, with an additional 3 dice from the tree. So then you're always bringing back the 2 or 3 they imagine they can chip off. You bring them back.
They receive... They might... Or do they receive the best?
They're the best unit I've seen at receiving.
They have 3 ways of receiving. They have the Rotswords, which are disincentivized to charge. They have the new cavalry, the knights, Slavic knights,
yes,
because they're going to countercharge you and strike you last.
Yes,
which is nasty AF, because the Slavic knights get +1 if the Slavic knights are in combat with an enemy unit that's also in combat with another Nurgle unit.
Yeah,
if
so
you're
if you
with a Rotbringer, not just Nurgle, with Rotbringer. So if you're ganging up on this, whatever, then you get that, and then the Glotkin, which we haven't even talked about yet. The Glotkin also can countercharge him and 2 units around him.
Yeah. Well, and like the Slavic Knights keep the Glotkin so safe. Like, everybody's going off on Rotigus, how good Rotigus is, and most lists are running Rotigus. I love the Glotkin, man. He's such a beast, man, and he gives so much damage output right now, and it's easy to get in. I've played a couple games now against like Kragnos and stuff, a couple games where it's like, okay, there's something out here that can kill this thing. But with the Slavic Knights there to countercharge to keep them safe, it's like you fight. I received Kragnos twice in the 2 games I played against him on my terms, because he can't really go in and get, I mean, he can go in and get his charge damage off, but if I just countercharge the Slavic Knights, or if they're parked right beside the Glotkin and strike him last, now all of a sudden everything fights into Kragnos and he just dies. If dice are on your side, but...
Let me know in the comments below if there's an army that you can think of that receives better than Nurgle. I would love to see what people think about that.
Yeah, like even like being a troll player, like playing the Gits, like Army of Renown, like with full trolls and rock guts, you're coming in with the 5-up ward and stuff. No, I still think Nurgle's receiving better. Like they can, with the Rotswords and with the Strike Last,
there's no comparison.
They do a better job than rock guts do in the middle.
Trolls have no Strike Last.
No.
Trolls have no like triple countercharge. They have no like anti-charge mechanics.
No.
They have Fellwaters. They used to have Unleash Hell with Fellwaters in 3rd.
Yes.
That was their big thing. And now it's like Drogs, but it's not a receiving. It's like, it's a Castle-y.
Yeah.
But it's not like an actively I'm receiving you mechanic.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. I don't know, dude. Nurgle, first of all, so I love your list. Like, I don't want to go over it in detail.
Yeah.
But it's a very good list. Do you know what? Do you know what I like most about your list? I helped write it.
Yeah, man, it's good, man. Like
That's
it's
my favorite
like
part.
Because I tried like the caster castle and stuff, and I tried like going heavy plate bears and stuff.
Even you knew though when you played that list, you were like,
yeah, it wasn't.
This is a tester.
It was too slow. I found that the heavy magic didn't have the output like for damaging units. And then it just got too tar pity in the middle, and then I'm slowing down on my tactics. I don't really steamroll on my battle tactics. And, I feel like running this army, it's way better. It's keep rolling on the battle tactics and stuff, right? So
the counter tactics, the battle tactics, I think. So, I don't know. You beat Nurgle. Oh, jeez, I gotta make a list. So you beat Nurgle because you are spread out.
Yeah, spreading out and don't let them use their army mechanics into you, right? Like, that's tip number 1. If you want to beat Nurgle, you need to spread. Like, your 3-inch widget has to be glued to you at all times. Because, like I said, they can put disease on kind of one thing a turn if you're within combat range, on a 4-up if you're within 7 inches of them. But it's like, if you have one unit that's diseased and there's a bunch of units that are around that unit, and I choose to spread off that unit, everything within 3 inches of it is getting diseased.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's when you can get multiple disease off. That's when you're going to get multiple D3 mortal wounds every turn, mine and yours, unless you heal the disease off.
I wrote here that you have to play on Nurgle's terms. You kind of have to just accept that, like, I have to deploy really different.
Yeah.
And I have to, like, approach you different. Again, it's the opposite of Hellsmiths. Hellsmiths is like, play Warhammer.
Yeah.
Right? This game's like, play against Nurgle. You're playing Nurgle. You're not playing Warhammer in the same. You're playing Nurgle.
You gotta really take, like, one flank against Nurgle is another thing, too. It's like, because they're too slow to get over to help. So it's like, you can take one flank, and then you really need to engage with more units than you think. You really kind of got to go 2-on-1 on stuff sometimes, because they just have this ability to just absorb damage with the word saves all the time. That's stupid.
Right.
Like, it doesn't convert as well as you think sometimes.
Do you know what army would be really good, I think, against Nurgle? The big pigs.
Yeah. Super fast. Big damage. You could probably crush a flank.
Crush a flank.
Right? And then you could start steamrolling in the back.
The littlest big pig, right? The Gouger.
Yeah.
His thing is he gives strike last on the charge.
Yeah.
So the concept is called the pig pile, where you take a bunch of monsters and just be like, hop on something.
Yeah.
And kill it, and then hop on something else and kill it.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting game, man. We should play that one next.
Spread Nurgle apart.
See?
Let's go do it right now.
Okay.
I feel like kind of, but I'm staying up for another hour and a half easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
So I don't know. Like,
yeah, it's weird. I haven't explored like a lot of their other units too, because like there's something gross with those Pestilgores. Like, I didn't get any of those units. I know that there's like some sick mechanics just for their points wise and how many attacks they get right now. That there's like just a disgusting list where you can just field 1 billion bodies on a 5-up ward underneath the trees because they're Rotbringer too, right? So they're like more offensive and not as defensive. Like, but I haven't tried them, right? So I can't really say anything to them. But the Plague Bearers were all right. There were lots of bodies, but really tar pity. And the disease mechanics aren't what they were. I kind of thought that if I played a lot of Plague Bearers and got the disease on and just kind of held the middle, that eventually the War of Attrition, they would just kind of die off of the mortal wounds. But it just didn't happen. I felt like the damage wasn't there. And then I thought running the casters behind that I could help with, like, Rodigus is casting his spell so they can't heal the disease off, tickling with the mortal wounds across the board. And, I don't know. I might have to explore playing that list again and try it, but it doesn't have the same feel as this list. This list is very forgiving. Like, push the middle. It receives so well.
Tell me about Demon Spew.
I like him, man. He's like definitely my favorite of the 3 Maggot Lords. Like, his big thing is he's got the 3-up save over the 4-up save. The other 2 are 4-up saves. So he's kind of just got this same thing, man. The ability to just take a bunch of damage, man. That armor save's really good. Like, if you put all out D on him and he's a 2-up save with a 5-up ward save underneath a tree, he's got the same stuff, and he hits hard, man. He's the hardest hitting of the Maggot Lords. You choose good.
Does he have any utility?
I think he does, like, he's got like
in combat, eh?
Yeah, it's like one shot though. It's not a great profile. It's the worst probably of the shooting attacks.
0 rend, D6 damage.
Yeah, but then he's got what is it, the Rampage? I think on a 3-up it adds 1 to the wound roll for every Maggotkin of Nurgle unit that swings into him. So he can kind of give utility, but it doesn't really work in my list because if you're doing it with the Rotswords and you're playing them right, the Rotswords are already wounding on 2s anyway because the Lord of Plagues is right near them. So he's not really, even if you get that off, that combat phase ability with him, it's not helping the Rotswords. And usually the stuff you're fighting with him, he's killing, like, unless it's something big. So it would have utility if you were taking stuff that didn't have the better wound, but if you're comboing it with Rotswords, not so much. But if Slaven Knights are with him, which I take right beside him, it's good, because it's like, okay, then they can wound, instead of winning on 3s, they're winning on 2s. If he gets that ability off, right? It's on a 3-up. But So not guaranteed, but he's also one of the faster units, right? Like everything's slow. So it's like he's faster, right? He moves 8. And the Slavan Knights move 8, so I always keep a 1 unit of Slavan Knights with him, and then they're kind of my faster moving unit, right? Like 2 8-inch moving units moving in.
His damage is fine. There's not really a buff that he gets, hey?
No, not really, no.
I'm not handling this very well. Yeah, there's not really a buff that he gets. So I think I did the math right. So, like, I don't know. He's not 400 points, so... do you remember his points? 270? It's not too bad.
I think so. 270, yep.
What's the problem here, guys?
While you're calculating his damage?
Yeah, like, it's fine. It's actually not that fighty. For 270, what does he really bring? Is it just damage? It seems kind of low.
That's per 100 points?
Yeah. Because that's the thing, right? It's like not about the numbers. It's also kind of about like, so like he'll... I mean, yeah, like 270. 3.9 is, or 3.4 is like whatever. That's literally it, all that he does. Stops at pylon, is that right? +1 to wound?
Yeah, you can potentially get +1 to wound. And then he gets, on armor saves as 6s. I think he does mortal wounds back, but it's kind of whatever.
Unless I did something wrong, but I don't think I did. 3, 3, 1, 2... 4, 2, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't know. You could cut this guy.
Yeah, it's like to experiment with other stuff on the list. I don't know.
Because it's like if he's the fightiest one, I don't know. Like he could still probably be the right choice. Like, is there anything else that's fightier than him? This is by the way, I think where people are running the extra Rotswords, maybe.
Not really. I mean, you could potentially make an argument for Blob just to take a little more like spell casting in there with it. He kind of hits.
What's Blob's
reasonably
cost?
I think it's about the same. I think he's 10 points less actually, maybe. Sorry. 270, same.
This might be a playstyle preference.
Yeah.
What are the spells like?
Well, they got that the spell that's like the unlimited spell, right? That's -1 to wound. It's a really good spell, right? So it's like Fleshy Abundance. You can either it goes on a 6-up, and you can either heal D3 to a unit, or give it -1 to wound. Be wounded.
Is that the one that everyone says is like an auto include? Like you said there's like a unit that
Rotigus is the one everybody's kind of like big on. Rotigus and the Cyst Witch, right? Because then they get +2 to cast. That's what I was running in that castle list in our last game there, right? Where it's like they're getting like a bunch of casting.
But what spell are you casting?
Well, Rotigus has the spell where it's the aura, like the 18-inch aura, where you can't heal or recur any models, or you can't take the poison off, right? But the recursion blocking is insanely strong with it too, right?
Yeah.
But it's a lot of investment, right? Like you're talking like it's like 500, 600-ish points for that combo.
I think essentially what you're right. So what are the two big monsters that you're playing?
The Glockin.
The total points.
Well, the Glockin's 470 instead of what Rotigus is, I think.
So is it 470 and 270? Just the two of them, right?
470 and 270, yeah.
740. So it's the combo of the other pair.
Versus the Cyst Witch would be 120. And Rotigus is 410.
So there's a lot of points left over.
Yeah.
It's a 210 point difference.
But you lose a lot of punching power.
Yes.
Is the problem. Like, you lose a lot of punching power.
I think it's a playstyle preference.
Yeah.
One is more like, I'm going to be magic-y, castle-y, and while it's not as punchy, it's probably still as survivable. It's like a grind of a game. But I think I prefer your style because it's way more like aggressive in your face. And a lot of the battle tactics require you to like take their objectives, get in deep into their territory, kill their heroes, not like wait out their heroes. It's like a better tournament list. It's like punch. Yeah. You know?
I think the list, if I played it again, would be a bit different. I think that the play style to play like Rotigus and the Cyst Witch, if you're playing like that castle, you could potentially run 2 reinforced bricks of Rotswords. And just like something that can take the middle, and instead, because I played with Plague Bears, and Plague Bears just couldn't. I don't know, with the tickle damage from the mortal wounds from the disease and the lack of damage that the Plague Bears did, and it just didn't. It was too tar pity. But if you could push 2 bricks of Rotswords up the middle, you know, they deal damage. So you could potentially look at a list like that, and then do something there. But I mean, my experimentation with Rotigus isn't over, but I love the Glockin, man. He hits so hard.
I'd say that just like as a Nurgle player, you're not prepping for a tournament right now.
Yeah.
So if I was you, I would literally just play them back and forth.
Yeah.
I'd play one and then the other and then one and then the other just to.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how you get, like, you know.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like, I have a wide Nurgle range. I don't have everything of the new stuff that came out, right? But it's like, you know, I got Rotswords and Slaven Knights, right, for the new stuff, right? But
what else is there?
Well, there's the Pestilgers, which are supposed to be just insane right now. Like I was saying, like there's a combo there where it's just like you get a 5-up ward under trees with them, but they're like super point. Yeah. But they're super point effective,
Everything's
right?
Everything's got this 5-up ward.
If you're under the trees, man.
Yeah, but it's not that hard to do. Pestigors. 5-up, 6-up.
I know there's something that's just insane with these dudes.
130 points for 10? Yep.
10 of them.
It's not within. So they're playing the role of the Nurgling in sort of what your list is. But they're 130 points. What's the hero? Like, what's the unit that's buffing these things?
There's
got to be something else.
Yeah, where is he? Sorry.
Is he an infantry hero?
Yep, he's
shaman.
He's a little shaman dude. Yep.
Oops. Yeah, okay. +1 attacks on a 3-up.
Yeah, and then you can take combos with them too, where you put it has to be a non-named hero though. You can put a non-named hero close to them, and they can give the +1 attacks on the roll too, like what the Lord of Plagues does, right? So you can put a little more attacks into them there too, right?
Yeah, but Nurglings are just cheaper. Are they? And they're probably more survivable. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at them in more detail, but I don't really care all that much.
Yeah,
not, like,
lots of dudes are running the Rotswords. I think they're insanely good.
These guys seem like a good, like, if you had 130 points in your list exactly, and you could be like, oh, these Nurglings are now these guys.
They don't feel like Nurgle to me either. Like, Nurgle's like take the middle, take a bunch of damage, tar pit. Like, I don't want stuff that's more chaffy. Like, you know, I already have Plague Bears for that role for me personally, anyway. But
like Nurglings are good, Plague Bears are good. Apparently these beast guys are good. The Rotswords are very good. The new Plague Bears are very good. The terrain is good. There's like multiple good heroes to choose from.
Yeah.
There's like a good Slimex is a very good unit.
Yeah, his utility with the 2 trees, like, really good for keeping the trees. The problem with the Nurgle heroes is, like, so many of them are named. Yeah. So, like, when it comes to, like, taking artifacts or heroic traits, it sucks because it's, like, you don't get many options for what you can put your things on, right? Yeah, and then, like, I don't know, I looked at, like, some of the heroes to lean into playing Plague Bearers and stuff, but it was, like, I found it was just kind of a points trap. Like, after I was building the list, it just didn't feel good. Like, the Plague Bearers just kind of do what they do on their own. I used them for the role of just taking hits and tar pitting and stuff. And it was like you could invest more into them and get more attacks into them, and they do have crit morals.
Like you said,
but it's like it's not the Rotswords just do it so much better. And there's so many infantry units in this army now. So many infantry choices, right? So it's like, what? I don't know.
So if
I had a unit that had to go sit on the middle, it would be Rotswords every time.
So what's a tier list?
Yeah, like, I've looked at a couple Nurgle tier lists and stuff, right? And, like, Rotigus is always smacked up on the S tier, right? But I don't know, man. I'm not sold. Like, not from the games I've played so far. Like I said, I'm going to test play him some more to just see. But, man, Rotswords have got to be up there for me. Like, they've kind of been, like, in the A tier on lots of other guys' lists and stuff. Like, they're not quite S tier, but it's like, I cannot build a list that doesn't start with those dudes in it. Like, if I'm going to go demon, even if I'm going to lean into demons and play demons, it's like, I'm going to take that unit of Rotswords with that Rotbringer, 500 points, a quarter of my army. I've played a lot of different armies and played into a lot of different armies, and I haven't seen a unit that has gone out there, received so well, and hit back so well after that, and in the game. It's really good. So I like that unit. I like the heavier armored units. Like, it's nice because, like, my army before was Plague Bearers and Rotmire Cree. It was stuff that didn't have armor saves. Like, they always had the ward, so they were kind of reasonably survivable. But man, the heavy armor saves with the Nurgle stuff is, like, I like it. It's good.
So defensive.
Yeah. Because it's like, nice, like, the demons are alright, because it's like they always have the 5-up ward. They don't gotta hover around a tree. They can go free out.
It's not that hard.
But then it's like your trees kind of feel more useless when you're playing demons. Like, yeah, you can still get the good rally off with them and stuff. But it's like, I don't know. It feels like you're not using the faction terrain as good when you play demons, right? So I feel like the list is always gonna have...
Okay. So
more competitive lists, I think, are going to be Rotbringer lists.
So let's bring it back full circle. So I think this is what I have in my notes so far. So how to beat Nurgle. So a big picture idea is that you have to play on their terms.
Yeah.
You have to play Nurgle's game.
Yeah.
Right? It's a mindset.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to first get into that mindset before you even talk about how to beat them. Kind of thing, right? But the actual ways are you have to do standard anti-castle things. So things you do against all castles.
Yes.
You want to pick them apart. You want to isolate them. You want to deny their casting. You want to kill their heroes, right? Like all of that normal stuff. Then you have to spread out for the poison, specifically for the what's it called
the plague propagator. If you're taking the Taliban of Nurgle, which everyone's taking because it's like the best.
Yeah, we're just gonna pretend formation. There's always one that's the best.
Yeah. So it's like they're starting off with putting a disease on one of your units that you can't heal off in your first turn. It is a roll,
though.
Yes.
So the thing is, so conceptually, again, it's not on anything.
Yeah.
So it's a roll. Is it greater than or equal to health? So so a 1 thing is guaranteed.
Yes.
Okay.
But on a 6-up on a 2d3, you get it on anything.
2d3.
So it's like if I play against Gargants, I've got to roll 2d3s, but if I get, 10 up,
it's 1 in 9.
It's not great, right? But it's like that's another thing that can be like for Nurgle if you have like, a Gargant army, right? It's like You're not going to get that initial disease off right off on the hop, right? But you also have to play, like, I think if you're playing in a Nurgle, you've got to, any, like, really defensive Castly army, it's like, you gotta plant your heals for a 5-turn game, too, right? Like, it's like, you're probably not going to go in and get damage, like, in terms of playing against them, though, right? Like, it's like, Nurgle units don't die off as good and as... Like, I've never really been, like, tabled really hard with Nurgle.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
like, it's like, I've never really, like, tabled my opponent, like, with Nurgle either, because it's slow to get to everything and stuff.
You actually, dude? So you have to outflank them and dogpile, right? Or no fighting.
Yeah, like, you can avoiding is totally an option.
But you have to. This is what I mean about playing Nurgle's game. It's like you just can't, you're not going to do it. You can't do it.
Well, that Rotsword unit is really slow, but it's like that thing is going to sit on whatever it's sitting on, and it's going to be extremely hard to shift. So it's like, if you can avoid that and put more concentration into caving in another flank, where that unit can't be everywhere, right? So it's like, okay, if you look at the other flank where there's maybe some plague bears or something there, it's like you've got to, you can avoid the Rotswords.
So you and I, I think you have to beat Nurgle in deployment. What's your list? Glotkin, this guy,
Demon Spew, 2 units of Slaven Knights, because I don't reinforce them so that you can use it for your utility.
Correct, 100%. We got 2 of these things.
2 trees, because I got Slimex, and then I take 1 unit of Plague Bearers, 1 unit of Nurglings.
And they're both right here, I think. Right?
Yeah. And that's just up the side, like objective holders.
Yeah,
right?
they're just dudes.
And then there's a reinforced brick of Rotswords.
Rotswords are here, I think. No. Why did they come in 3? There's 10 of these things.
What are you looking at?
These are the Rotswords, but they're not coming in groups of.
Oh.
So I gotta make my own. Yeah, like look at this list. Look at the art.
And then there's the Lord of Plagues, the hero to buff the.
These guys are more like this, though. They're like, this is their role. Their role is to like sit here like this. Whatever. They're just like, right? Like they just wrap around the heroes.
And then the heroic trait I take and the artifact are both on the rot or the plague Lord of Plagues, because all the other characters are named in the list, right? So like I said, it's tough to kind of find who you're putting stuff on, but he's the perfect candidate. So I take the heroic trait, the Febrile Frenzy, and that's on a 3-up. You can add 1 to the attack characteristics of melee weapons for the rest of the turn for friendly Magakin of Hero Nurgle unit wholly within 12.
Right.
So that one's good because you can use it offensively. So they really like to receive. So all their buffs work off being charged other than this one. So you still have on a 3-up if you charge them and have the Lord of Plagues. That's the tough part, is keeping them wholly within 12 if you're charging them, because then you're sending them. But you could potentially get 3 attacks on the charge and then still makes them decent in a charge scenario. But it's the defensive scenario that gets gross, because then on a 2-up he gives them an additional attack. So it's 2-up, 3-up on the defense. And then on a 3-up, if you charge the Rotswords, they shut down your ability to use commands. And they also get +1 to wound if you charge them.
What a beautiful list. Legit.
Yeah. Like I said, there might be some.
Doesn't it just look right?
Yeah, there might be some look into the play of the. I like the second monster though, right? It's just there might be some more.
You could maybe lean a little bit more into magic. That's the idea, right? Like, I love the list, and you can swap out what's in the middle, right? So like you can cut this guy and then add like what's another caster?
Well, because I could put Blob in and be a direct replacement, but like then it gives you the ability to cast -1 to wound on like the Glotkin and the Rotsword. So now the Rotswords are already so hard to kill, but putting -1 to wound on them is gross. Or if they go into the Plague Bearer unit that's -1 to wound or hit while they sit on objectives, you can make them -1 to hit and -1 to wound. So you can kind of like lean into really making stuff harder to kill because it's an unlimited spell.
Monster.
Yeah, he's got a bit of mechanics around it. Like he's not as killy and fighty as Demon Spew, but he's not bad.
It's this spell. This is a good spell too.
Yeah, it's not a bad spell. It's a little situational, depending if the unit's coming at you. If they have crit effects on their weapons and stuff, you can like shut them off, right? It's not bad.
But he's really just Wizard 1.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, you have no manifestations, but manifestations are strong just in general, so...
Yeah, like right now I took the... whatchamacallit? Gravetide and the...
Yeah.
But... you don't have the cast to use it. Like Glotkin's casting once per turn, and it's always Fleshy Abundance.
I can see.
Or if there's a monster close, his spell is really good. But it's like Fleshy Abundance is so good. I'm counter magicking it every turn. I'm trying to cast it every turn on my hero phase.
The caster combo. What do they normally play for manifestation?
I've seen like a caster heavy ones. They've been using the cogs. Because they play the cogs and then they run the -1, what is it, -1 to hit. And then they put a bunch of -1 to wound on the casters with their own spells. So it makes them like really hard to kill. But the damage output isn't there, right? Like spellcasting for damage isn't what it used to be, right? Like I find it was a little lackluster.
And you can just get +1 to cast, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could take the Cyst Witch. She's a priest, right? And she gives +1 to cast, so you could park her next to the Glotkin for 120, shuffle her up the board, and then you could break up, like, Demon Spew for have another 150 there and drop the manifestations for potential another 180. Like, that's another unit of Slaven Knights, and the Cyst Witch giving +1 to cast to...
Yeah, but 3 Slaven Knights isn't good.
I don't think another brick of Slaven Knights adds to the list, though. They're really good, but it's like... It's a utility role, so it's like you don't want to lean into it too much because it's only once per turn combat phase. So it's like
this is great.
Yeah.
So try to find a good version of casters. That's good.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I played it with heavy plague bearers, but it was I didn't like it. So
you do lose a bit of a hammer though. Like 10, he'll do like 9 damage. So like being 10 is one of those thresholds, right?
Yeah.
It's like 2 big pigs, 2 rock guts. It's 5, like a unit of 5. It's like you know what I mean, half the unit of bounders.
Yeah.
Right, like it's pushing 10. 10's one of those numbers. So I don't know. This is good though. I really like this. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I've played this list twice now. Actually, it was modified because when I played Graydon, I didn't have Demon Spew in, and I had 2 units of Plague Bearers. And the Nurglings were out. And the 2 units of Plague Bearers were reinforced, so I had, like, it was infantry up the board like you wouldn't believe. And it was good. It still played good. It was a little more tar pity and didn't score as well for, like, tactics and stuff, but I still won the game, but... since making the switch, putting the extra hammer in with the extra monster, and I split the Slaven Knights too. I played them reinforced, which was a big mistake in that game too. So, I was using them more of a hammer instead of a utility piece, and they're way better as a utility piece.
Sure. So if we were going to deploy, I think that because I'm not, my mind wasn't in, like, you know, as ready as I am to think about it right now.
Yeah.
What did we play again? What map?
I
played, Bountiful? No. What was it? Surge? No.
It had 6 objectives.
Yes, it did. Oh, I think it was this one. Yeah, Royal.
Yeah,
Roots. Yeah, okay.
That looks right.
right? So we got the two big things in the middle, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
places of
yeah.
power and then the obscurings in the back.
Yeah, this is it.
Okay, so we go like the Glock can boom, and there we go. And then what was I playing? I was playing Squignos. Get Squigs. Where is it? This is Get Mob with Kragnos. There it is. I'm just stupid. This is my list. Okay, so oops. If you got to you won the roll, right?
Yeah.
So then you decided to deploy first.
Yeah.
And you put your trees like did you get to start with 2?
Just one. You start with one. The other one comes on in the
Okay.
movement phase from Slimix, so
Whatever,
you don't get the
but it
second
comes
tree.
out pretty early. And then
Yep.
my Loon Shrine was positioned like this.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I deployed. No, you deployed first.
Yeah.
And what did you deploy first?
I put Plague Bears up that right-hand flank there, yeah. And I put the Nurglings up the left-hand flank. And the Hormix Slimix, I put him just behind that terrain right here on the toe of this objective. So that I could chuck the tree up either side of that fork.
And then I put a Rabble Rouser.
Yeah, you didn't give me anything. You put a bunch of just false.
And then you went.
What did I put next? Did I put the Rotswords next?
I don't know.
I can't. Yes, I put the Rotswords next. So I put the Rotswords and the Rotbringer up here. And they were kind of right on the line. But there was a bit of a pocket, like more towards the obscuring terrain this way. And there was a bit more of a pocket for stuff to get through. So these guys were back a bit more. Yeah, kind of like that. And that's how they deployed.
And that was it.
That was that drop, yeah. And then,
Yeah, so this is nice so far. I think that this is a good deployment from you because the flanker's going to be flanking. It's not like it's right. And then you're like, okay, so here's the Rotswords, but really the 2 big hammers and the big utility piece are still off the board.
Yeah, like where I want to do my punching isn't revealed to you yet, right?
And then I took Herd and stuck it here.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I didn't actually. My drop was let's move this over here. My drop was the Fungoid Cave Shaman right here.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, and then what was your next drop? So I've given like no.
I think I put Demon Spew and the other. Yeah, they went up the other flank there. So Demon Spew went in the middle, closer to the place of power, and the Slavan Knights went to the left side of Demon Spew. So the opposite of how you have it. Yeah.
And then what was my?
Then I think you dropped.
Right, then I dropped my Squigs.
Yeah, that's right. And then I put the Glockin just back on the objective a bit, and there was a little bit of a window where I put the Slavan Knights just a little to the left of the Glockin, so that I could countercharge through there. So there was one just nosed in right on the line, right beside the Rotswords, yeah. And then the Glockin was just kind of in that pocket right there. Yeah, that's right.
Whatever.
I think there was a little more room because these guys were over to the right more, right? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, like that.
Okay, so this is and then you get to decide who goes first.
Yeah, well, and
this is all I've revealed is a bunch of. So what I did was I did something like this. With bounders on the sort of on the flanks in reserve. Yeah, I mean, if you're not watching this, if you are just listening to this, this would be a good moment to see how the deployment. But I shouldn't have done this. I think what I should have done is I should have been like, what do I want to take on the board? Right? Like I gotta take 4. Do you know what I think is weak? Is this side.
Yeah, it doesn't look as weak, but if the Glocken goes to the middle, that big piece of terrain was like a big forking factor, right? So
yes,
it's like, you could push the right flank heavily and go for that flank.
I gotta get my 3 are gonna be my triangle.
Yeah.
And then my 4 is gonna be this one. Right? Like I'm not gonna get this green one. If I control 2, it's gonna be control the 2 reds.
Right.
So with Kragnos already being committed here, the Bounder should have gone here on this side together. And then these guys should have also gone over here.
Yep.
And just been like, we're going in hard. And then like the way that I move is I go like this. Right? And then from here I can probably just like leave. I don't really know how that's gonna play. Like this. Right? No, actually, do you know what? It would have been way more interesting. Yeah, like moving up like this, and then probably send these guys this way too. Right?
Yeah, like
these guys are gonna go run interference a little bit. I don't even know. I liked what I tried to do with them. Right, but like if I got the +2 to move and stuff.
Yeah, the charge was good, and you stayed out of the Slaven Knights, but this is the problem, right? Like, you always save 2 CP for that Slaven Knight countercharge. Because then it's like, you're already in with a Rotbringer unit, they come in, and it's a 2-up strike last, right? And it ruins your day.
So the best case scenario is if you can just fight them.
Well, the thing is the Rotswords aren't going to charge you. They can, but they're not popping off as hard as they can. They want to be charged. So if you're charging them, you're falling into the hand of it, right? Whereas, like, try to fight that fight a little more on your terms, and then with the deployment shift that you've done here, you're, like, heavily loading up on that flank, right? Which is good, right? Now you're going to cave in over there. It's only 10 Plague Bearers, and that other stuff's a little more killable than the Glocken and the Rotswords for sure, right? So it's like... And then, if you take a flank from Nurgle with them being slow, that's how I think you can win, because then you can outmaneuver them, right? Stay away from them. They have a trouble chasing you down, right?
I always forget that I can break up my regiments, my drops. You know, if I know that I'm dropping last,
yeah,
right, you're finishing before me. It's like, why wouldn't I just be like, I'm gonna drop 1 unit of squigs right here in the middle, not the boss and not the other unit,
right?
And then you can drop a dude, and then I can drop like, I'll drop these fanatics over here, break this regiment, and then you have to drop your last drop,
right?
So like I could have revealed a lot less.
Well, and it'd be nice to know where the Glocken's going, right? Because I mean, big decisions are going to be around where he goes, and big decisions are going to be around where those Rotswords go. Like, those are my 2 big units. So it's like, depending where they go, could be a big determining factor for where your stuff goes.
Yeah. So
well, and then more spread too in your deployment, right? Like I wasn't as nice this game, not because I was trying to be a jerk, but I was just concentrating on my deployment so much I forgot to remind you to stay more spread, right? But yeah, like that plague propagator's bad news if you're not spread out. That 3-inch widget's your friend when you're playing against Magickin. It's got to be glued to you, because it's like, what is within 3?
So is this what deployment would have been?
Well,
Right.
that's how I deployed. Yeah, like that's how it went, right?
But I could have deprived a lot less information. But yeah, all of this should have gone on one flank.
Yeah.
Right? All of this should have gone on
Well,
one
it
flank.
always takes more than you think. Like, a unit of Bounders has got a lot of damage output, but it's like, when you start factoring in ward saves or the high armor saves, like, you're not getting as much output out of them as you think against some of those units. Like, especially these new Rotbringer units with the 3-up save, with the 5-up ward under the tree. You need a lot of investment to take those guys out. So it's like, yeah, you might have to put 2 units of Bounders into it. You might have to put, you know, a combo of putting Herd into him with a unit of Bounders, right? Like, and then at least if you're doubling up, like, if the Slaven Knight comes in, they can only strike one thing last. But at least you're doubling up into that unit, right? So it's like, at least something strikes on your terms, right?
This would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
Like, it's so it's so dumb.
It's not what you would typically deploy, because against most armies you could do the regular spread out, but it's like, if you're looking to fight against Nurgle, you have to heavily load on one side and take out a flank, and then they can't, like, they're just going to slow roll you if you push the middle, and if you want to trade unit for unit, it's not going to, you're going to get they tar pit you is what happens.
Yeah. And then I think the way that I would move this, okay, so we're going to assume that this unit my units are wholly within 12 of the fungoid, right? So, like, I would have deployed them a little bit more like this or something, but I would have been paying attention to that, right? Anyway, so then these guys are going to move up here, right, for their first turn and not run in charge, and I might even keep the rabble-rouser keep them in the tunnel.
Yeah.
Right? But essentially what I'm going to do, and then this side is just committing. Right? This side is just going to be super aggressive.
Well, it's hard not to do or be, like, held back from what it does, too, because, like, this is a total alpha strike list, man. Like, with Kragnos 3-6 charge on Bounders, like, you know, like, with Rabble Rouser for the run-in charge on the Beasts and the, you know, like, it totally wants to alpha strike, but Nurgle can receive you so good, and the thing that's good, like, the good thing about Nurgle receiving is, I don't need a hero phase first for it to be good. Like, they just receive always. Like, you know, like, sometimes you go get first against an army and you hit them before they get their buffs up. They don't need that. Like, all their stuff just happens.
Well, Cruel Boys, on not on my turn, I don't get a +1, maybe +2 to my save. Okay, I also don't get, what's the other thing I don't get? Oh, geez. One of them is a spell. What's the other thing that's really important? There was something else. Oh, Venom-encrusted weapons. So crits on 5s.
The heavier crits on the
And
ones.
it's also a big investment because usually I need to redeploy and countercharge.
Right.
So there's a big... And then it's my turn and I have no CP.
Right.
Not that I need a ton, but...
Right.
Because we don't care about all-out attack, thank God. We're like the only destruction army that doesn't care about all-out attack.
Right.
It's just mortals, right? Like,
because your damage comes from the crit mortals.
I have 0 rend.
Right.
Hit on 4s, wound on 3s, 0 rend. Like...
Yeah.
Anyway, so then this herd is actually going to not even commit up the middle.
Yeah, like this weird
around.
Unit that's like ready to alpha strike is going to play more cagey,
and then
right?
maybe now, if it's not the propagator and it's not poisoned, you can touch it with the squig boss and touch it with the fungoid to make sure they get the bonus move and crit mortals, just to, like, make sure this flank goes okay.
Yep.
Right? Just to be like, and then nothing's committed, right? And then whatever, the knights have nothing to fight.
Well, and you only have to play it safe, really spread out in your deployment zone for that first turn, right? You can make adjustments after that to buff your stuff, because it's like, I can't range disease you anymore, right? That's only off the hop, so it's like, you know.
But the fungoid probably should have even been, like, over with these guys.
Because if you didn't give me, like, as good of an option as you gave me to put on them, it would probably have just gone on Bounders. because knowing what I know about Herd, they're just going to recur.
Yeah.
It's not doing anything, so it's like it's going on bounders because at least it might kill, tickle down a bounder or two,
like,
right?
Like
the Herd, it does nothing.
It does actually nothing. But even, it's like, okay, so then I have a unit of bounders that has this thing on it. If I rally, it goes away, and the plagued propagator is done.
Yeah, you can rally that off in turn 2, right? In your first turn, you can't.
Does it say you can't?
You can't. In your first turn, you can't heal it off. So you're stuck with it on for the first turn, but in the second turn, you can heal it off.
Depending on what they get, well, you have to deprive them of spread options. So, but it's not that bad though, because so in this list, it's like you can't get Kragnos, okay? You can't pick the foot infantry heroes. It's 2d3 you roll, right?
Yes.
So you need like a 3 up on 2d3.
Yes.
So that's like a pretty good. It's like not double ones, I guess.
No,
it's not
right.
1s and 2s, but it's pretty good. Yeah, bounders, I guess, right? So,
because like we've only played a couple games with Maggotkin. Like I'm gonna get better with Maggotkin just playing them a bunch too, but it's like you're also gonna get better at playing against Maggotkin as we go too, right? Like it's like there's a steep learning curve for playing Maggotkin, and also a steep learning curve for playing against them right now because they're new with new mechanics, new models, right? Like it's a different army.
So the heroes can stand together.
Yeah, totally. They'd be safe, right? Heroes can stand together for sure.
You have to play their game.
Yeah, it's gonna throw a wrench into your deployment, but not really. Like
this is why they're winning,
it depends
dude.
on what kind of list you like. If you're playing like a castle list where you want all your stuff close together because you have buffs or effects, stuff like that, like you're not gonna like that disease thing going on you. But it's like if you don't care and you're just kind of more of a spread out army, you're not gonna worry about that initial disease as much. It's not gonna be that big of a factor.
You have to play their game.
Yeah, I agree. They have a lot of mechanics that they're counter mechanics, right? Like if you're running an army that has like lots of mortal wounds or lots of shooting, like I feel like shooting doesn't lean well into Nurgle. Mortal wounds don't lean well into Nurgle, right? Like same with low rend if they're playing Rotbringer units like I am with like the very high armor save. Doesn't lean well into them. Like
so what kind of like you've played against all of those things, I'm sure by now. Like
yeah.
I played pigs against you, played a bunch of cruel boys against you.
I think
last few games are gets.
I think the pigs would be very interesting, like you were saying, right? Like you would have some really big crushing flanking power, and also with the ability to like in your deployment zone you can deploy and I can kind of see where you're going, but then all of a sudden you can just shift and move your units heavily on the flanks, and all of a sudden it's like I'm a slow slog, man, and it's like, okay, you just avoid the middle with the Glocken and the Rotswords and just cave in the sides and fight from the outskirts, and take the outskirt objectives in this bigger objective game like this, right? And it's like, it's a different game, right?
Yeah, Alpha Strike lists are crazy.
Yeah.
Like this list, I'm going to play it again, I think, next time I play. Because I didn't get to really, do it.
Yeah, it didn't really do what you wanted it to do, right?
It's been a long time since I played a list like this, and these kinds of lists are the opposite of what my preferred playstyles are.
Yeah.
I want to play your Nurgle lists.
Yeah.
It's such a good
Yeah, it's weird, man. I didn't play it for 3rd edition. I hung up the gloves on Nurgle to take trolls, but I loved my Nurgle in 2nd edition with the Rotmark Kree and the flies, and it was really good. And it was to dust it off and come back to it with like new model range and stuff. It's been fun, man. Like it's so fun. Like I like Nurgle. They're awesome.
So, what are some other good lists? Pigs. What do you think about trolls?
Trolls are interesting because trolls, like with all their healing and stuff, is kind of a natural counter to the disease mechanic. I mean, they kind of block each other out because it's like
you said. Can you not rally to get rid of the propagator? But
not trolls? On turn one.
So is it no way on turn?
Nothing on turn one can remove the propagator. You can't heal it off on turn one. So essentially, you wouldn't be able to heal. Or you'd still be able to heal, but you couldn't heal the disease off. No, you wouldn't be able to heal because you can't heal with disease on. So you would be locked to not heal one turn with trolls. But then, like, to throw that on trolls, Plague Propagator isn't easy. Rockets are 5 up. They're 5 wounds, right? Fellwaters are 5 wounds. Now all of a sudden I gotta roll what on 2d3? Gross. Not good. Like, you're probably not getting a Plague Propagator against a Trolls list, like, if they're running lots of Trolls. So you're probably not getting it initially, which means you get no initial disease. And then you can heal it off every turn with, like, their just natural healing ability, right? So armies that have, like, just a lot of healing mechanics and stuff, or, like, mass healing, like, where they heal, like, 1 wound on a bunch of things or something, you're gonna strip off that disease fairly easily.
It's hard to decide if it's like, I don't know, good or bad.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They kind of counter each other a little bit. Because also when you're diseased, you don't get to heal with your rocket. So it's like the disease comes off, but then you also don't get your D3 heal. So it's like, it's just kind of
But the rockets out heal it.
Yes.
Because they, in Trog Herd.
Yes, if you're doing the swing with the, yes.
Because now it's 4 heals in a round.
Yeah.
How many times can you get poisoned in a round? Once?
Yes.
So you're still healing 3 times.
But you also get the investment off on the disease in a round too, because I put the disease on you in the round. Unless you swing after I put the disease on, then you still take the D3 mortal wounds. And then in your hero phase, you could heal the disease off. You know what I mean? So it's like they still kind of both get a little bit of play, but like you're never going to run into like if you're playing trolls, you're never going to run into a point where all your units are diseased and they're mutating and doing a mortal wound to all the units. Like that's just not going to happen with the amount of healing that you have. It's not going to happen. Like you're always going to have some stuff that's not diseased.
Yeah, but you heal 4 times. You can only get the D3 mortals once, right?
Yes.
So it's like you're still healing a ton. Yep. To me, it's like, okay, so it's like the poison is nothing.
Yep. And then it's like your trolls, you know, like they receive well and fight well. It's just going to be a big grindy slog, right?
Rockets deal a lot of damage. That's the thing about them too, though.
Yeah.
They have good rend, right?
I'd be worried about the Glotkin with trolls. Like
no big spike.
Fighting the Glotkin, yeah. There's like no you big, don't like really have like enough big spike to take him out. And he's gonna hurt a unit of rock guts if he goes into him. Like he's gonna kill a couple. So he would be like the more problematic unit. Like if I was playing my trolls into the list, I'd be like, the Glotkin's probably the thing to avoid. But I mean, the Rotswords, whatever, right? Like, get in there with the Rockets, and you could go toe-to-toe with those dudes for a bit, right? Like, me and Graydon fought when we played our game. I ran the reinforced unit of Slava Knights, which we discussed was a mistake, but I ran those into his Rockets, and man, it was like 3 or 4 turns of just punching each other, and nothing died. Like, just nothing died.
It's boring.
Yeah. So it's like that's the kind of game, right? It's gonna be you're playing two armies that have a total same playstyle. Slow up the middle, ward save, defensive, really good at receiving, both of them.
Cruel Boys being able to strike you last would be pretty annoying. Because it's like it makes it fair again.
Yeah, like it's got some counterplay to it too, right? Now all of a sudden it's like, okay, well it's not the case, right? So it's like
I can fight on my turn before you.
Yeah.
So like that's really good, I guess. I'm just writing down like good. So Kragnos is good. against Nurgle. Kragnos.
Yeah. Kragnos is good because
he can burst your monsters down.
Like, whatever list Nurgle's bringing at you, they're bringing some big monsters to the table. You're running Glockin, you're running Rotigus, someone's a great unclean one, Maggot Lords. Like, there's too many good monster options to not take a few, you know? So it's like, taking Kragnos is always going to be good, you know? Like, going into Nurgle, like, you know, spike a bunch of big damage, right?
Yeah, I wonder what you would think about this list against Nurgle. Let's see, where is it? Gitmob Kragnos. So the list is Kragnos with the Big Pig Regiment of Renown. So it's it's the strike last one and the one that does the most damage.
I like the big pigs.
Right, and then it's a reinforced unit of Sunstealuilas to run amok on a flank just to plug up some space, and then 2 reinforced units of Snarlpack Cavalry, and we're taking the Rend on the charge
so
option.
One Rend?
So they'd have a Rend, right? And then a boss to be there, whatever. To buff them, they get like bonus to charge, and they get some other buffs or whatever. And then I can't remember if he has an enhancement on him, because he's the only hero that can take enhancements. What is this again? This is Gits. So I'm not sure if he's a wizard. He might be a wizard, and the only wizard in the army. I have to actually look it up. I just have it in my pocket. And then the other flank is the little 70 point. Right, they're just the other side of this.
I like the pigs in Kragnos a lot because they hit hard and move fast. The only thing I would worry about is like the Git mob stuff, just not having the high rend. Like going into the Rotswords, like they're not going to do well into them.
They strike first on the charge, which means on my turn they get to fight. I think they are good directly. I'm going to kill the Slaven Knights unit.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I strike first, I'm fighting. Right? Bonus to charge, so they're way faster.
Try to kill the Slaven
And then
Knights.
like the Slaven Knights aren't that survivable. Like they're not like crazy. Aren't they on 4s?
No, they're on 3-up.
So
you can all outdeed them.
Too.
You could put them on a 2-up with a 5-up ward under a tree.
12 health.
12 wounds.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's the health is like you can kind of get through it. Right?
Well, it's like this is Nurgle, man. It's like there's this many wounds with this many ward saves, and it's always like, maybe I could take them out, but maybe I can't. Like, it's like you need lots of double investment sometimes, or
well,
I feel like the low rend in this list would hurt you with the chariots and even like you're gaining the 1 rend with. I'm not sure what you're taking to get that, but I don't know if it's enough. You need something that's actually got a bit more. I don't
know. Yeah. We would be lucky to get 2 of the knights as we charged him.
Yeah.
But it's not even about like. That's not their role. Their role is to like stall too.
Yeah. Sure.
But if you took both units and charged it into the knights, you can make that work. And you can also strike last the knights with the pigs, or strike last something else.
Yeah. I think the big pigs could potentially be a problem, like running against our boys where they're just running like all pigs, like, you know, Kragnos big pigs. Like, just to look at it, like, across the table, I think it would be a more intimidating list to me than seeing wolves. Because my immediate assumption seeing wolves is they just don't have enough rend.
How about this one?
And I can just trade well. Yeah, see, like, that's more scary to look at for me. It's a lot.
I'm just trying to think of, like, what the best army from each of my 3 armies would be to fight you. This is like, I don't know. what was scarier, the squigs or this?
I think the squig list is scarier than that one.
You think so?
Other than the pigs at the core of that one with Kragnos is going to be scary, but
the question is like, is it scarier than anything that Gits can bring? Or maybe there's a list instead of the stuff. It's more. It was Squignos. No, yeah, this one. And then I don't know. What do you think of just like a standard Cruel Boys? Or like my standard, I guess.
yeah,
Right, just like some Mortal Wound blenders, and I have Strike Last board wide to counter your Strike Last, and
yeah. Like I would feel better. I always hate going into the Mortal Wound mechanics of your army because it's potent. So it feels better when you have Ward Saints against it, but then you have a lot of units. You know, you have a lot more damage output in this army. Like this army's more. Certainly better than that Gits army, I feel.
In this army, there's a simple swap where you can trade this unit of monster kills for a kill bow.
Right. Which would be a good unit against.
Well, if you move
Nurgle
your
always
monsters into
take
the
a
middle,
monster.
it's like
Yeah.
It's like they're really hard to kill, but I just wonder how good. Yeah. So like that's probably the way to do it. Trolls? So you think Trolls is the best Gits list?
Yeah. I
Cruel Boys in general are. So like, which army do you think just like be it Gits, Iron Jaws, or Cruel Boys? Do you think?
I feel like, man, I weirdly feel like the Iron Jaws army would give me the most grief. Just knowing the movement. Just knowing the movement. That's the thing about my army I can't change, right? Like, they're good at receiving. They're good at dealing with mortal wounds. They're good at taking the middle. But it's like, if you just don't play into those games and you destroy me on the flanks and you keep your mobility high and be reserved with your units and fight smart fights and not go into those Rotswords or the Glockkin until it's the opportune moment or when you have to do it.
And again, you're pig piling.
Yes.
You're throwing like 4 big pigs into the Rotswords.
Well, it's like that's like Magakin. You're playing a 5-turn game, man. I feel like you gotta play those 5 turns, man. Like, don't.
How scary is Kragnos?
He's pretty scary. He's less scary with Slaven Knights. Because I feel like you can fight him on your terms, and you're terrified to go in with him when Slaven Knights can strike him last. Like. Mm-hmm. You're worried about where you send them for sure. So it's like there's always going to be a respect for the damage he can do to a monster on the table. So it's like I have that fear, but then you have the fear of being struck last. So it's like it doesn't feel good for either of us, and it turns into this kind of cagey. Like Graydon, I don't think his Kragnos went until like turn 3 when we played, and it wasn't into the unit he wanted to, and then. I ended up getting him with my Glockkin in turn 4, I think, but...
What do you think about, like, Iron Jaws? So the list is more like this. What do you think of, like, an Iron Jaws, like, Monster Mash list versus Nurgle?
Yeah, it could be potentially good, too, right? Like, the Maw Crushes, I don't know as much about them, but...
They just punch.
Yeah, they're pretty punchy, right? Yeah, I mean, same thing, right? They got high mobility, right, too, right?
The thing in these kind of lists is that so you can't really play the Maw Crushes either one in like a mixed list because the battlefield is too tight.
Yeah.
If you have like Ardboys and Brutes, like they're in the way all the time. It's a pie plate.
Yeah.
Okay. And then plus Kragnos' mobility, and then they're suddenly power throughing their way to victory.
Right.
And this is the ultimate pig pile too, where you can jump like those 4 monsters in the back on one target with 3d6 charges.
Yeah.
Right? And like big, like one of them gets like hero phase move.
Yeah, I played a similar list in Northern Wastes, right? That guy was rocking the 2 Maw Crushers with the Kragnos and stuff in my night on, but
so like Iron Jaws, pigs, and monsters seem like it'd be pretty good.
Yeah,
but like, would you?
I'm a bigger fan of the more units with the more big pigs.
Do you need a drink?
Yeah, sure, dude. If you got something, that'd be great. Yeah, I don't know. I always like just a bit more like units, like, and they're also mobile. So like your whole army's lined up there, right? And then, like I said, you can shift left or right.
This one might be
depending on where Nurgle's going.
This one might be hard to deploy. Although, can you really even? It's 5. It's 5 health is the smallest thing for Propagator.
Yeah, so right away you're getting good value there because it's like you're not getting. I'm not diseasing anything, unless I get
and all the big pigs can all clump together.
Yeah,
in the center, right? Yeah, there's a whole stack of them somewhere.
I don't know.
So okay,
certainly more interesting lists, right? And
so is trolls just the best way for gits? It's either going to be like the crack, like I don't know. So you think that like maybe
I think trolls are decent, but like being a troll player, it's like, and playing Nurgle right now, I feel like Nurgle does it a bit better. And like Glotkin versus like say Trug, like their heavier hitting unit is like a bit better too. Like so it's like I don't know. But then they counter the Nurgle mechanic, right? So it's like you're countering the mechanic.
I think you're doing it a lot.
Yeah.
Well, like I don't know. Like I said, it's like you're doing it like you're healing 4 times. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know, it just seems like the math is in your favor. It's like the rock. But I don't know.
Yeah, the disease is never gonna snowball on you. Like it can't with the amount of healing you have with.
Yeah, it's weird. You really have to like play Kragnos. So I don't know, would a list be like I'm already subscribed. What are you talking about? Whatever, maybe I don't want to do this right now. Yeah, let's stop longer. Yeah, I guess. Maybe the best list is a mixed list, where it's like a unit of like kind of everything. Like what's like a regular one that I have? Yeah.
Yeah, because this is like your last list we played, right?
It's similar. This is the one.
Because like the trolls give you the ability to not just get bullied and pushed off the middle, right? Because you have some stuff that can stay toe to toe in the middle, which will hold Nurgle at bay, like from just giving. If you just give them the middle and they'll take the middle, then it's bad.
So this list is running. This list should also be running Spragrock.
Oh, this is the one where you put the shooting in.
Yeah, this is the shooting one, but this is the instead it's Wolf Riders and I think it's a Fungoid and then this unit of Fanatics on the side.
Right.
Right. So it's like actual flanks right? Like
Right.
cheap flankers. But this is a bunch of shooting instead. And it's still a unit of bounders somehow. I feel like there's something I'm
And
missing.
Drogs up there. That's I like that list better.
They both have Drogs. They both have Fellwaters. They both have Rock Guts. I feel like something's wrong with this list. Do you see what I'm saying? The shooting is 340 points, but this is also a good chunk too, 240. So what's that? This and this? That's like 200 points. Like, where's the rest of it?
Scraggerot's not in that upper list.
He's in both, yeah. He's right here.
Oh, is he? Oh, never
Yeah, I
mind.
didn't see him at first either. The spell lore is the same. I feel like this.
Fungoids
I feel like
in the
this
other
should
one?
also have a unit of bounders in it. Is what I'm thinking. Hold on one sec. So I should have them right here. Trolls. Rockets. Yeah, it just has a unit of bounders too.
It's missing a unit of bounders.
Yeah, it's the same. So like one is shooting, but the other one is like these flankers. I think there might be something else too. Yeah, so I don't know. So yeah, this is like 200 points. It's still too cheap though. Something's still wrong. So sorry, which one did you say that you would dislike the most as Nurgle?
Probably the top one.
Yeah, just isn't the shooting.
The kill bow, the shooting gives you little options to like not engage with them and shoot and pick fights on your terms a little more. If one of the big monsters comes in, you could rock like the Fellwater Spit with the Rock Guts, like you could, or the Fellwaters like are very good against the high. The Fellwaters are the best in both those. I'd be scared with the high save, because then you're spewing on my Rotswords, making them like a 4-up instead of a 3-up, right? And then I lose the ability to all out D. And then you actually have Rend in this army, right? With shooting, with, like whatever you're going with, right? So it's like, feel like that's good. Yeah. Yeah, the shooting's a bit more flex. Because the other ones, like the wolves in there, they're just kind of whatever. The fungoids in the top list too, or no?
Yeah, he's in both, I thought.
He's in both?
Although that might make sense. No, I think he's in both. No, he's not. Okay, that makes more sense then. So, no, he's not in both. I don't know. My brain is exploding. I'm sure I'm just tired.
Yeah.
Just like, I can't figure it out for whatever reason. Yeah, but I like these lists. But are those scarier than? And this is with Trogherd, by the way. Right? This is with Dankholds and Rock Guts and Fellwaters, right? Like
right.
And this one is 2, I think.
That's Trogherd as well.
Yes, because even though there's a little, I think there isn't even a little bit less. It's the same amount of trolls.
Right.
Right. I like this. I like this shooting list. This list was great. Rock Guts and Bull Boys.
I like that.
Feels good
as well.
But do you think that that's stronger than like Kragnos and like Squigs or Pigs or something? Like just in terms of gits?
Yeah, I don't know. I like in terms of gits.
Just in terms of gits.
Yeah, I think so.
So like this is the scariest army.
Yeah, like the Squigs and the Bounders I found have been kind of like bouncing off a bit.
Okay, well, the next time that we play Nurgle.
That Ironjaw's list though looks good too. Like that gets list with the shooting. The top Ironjaw's list down there.
This one?
Yeah. I don't know anything much about the Maw Crushers. Like maybe there is. I don't know. I like the look of all the big pigs.
I think that ultimately you'll just be bigger than me.
Yeah.
Right? You're just like going to be too much meat for me to deal with. It's like not enough punch. This list is probably the best tournament winning Iron Jaws list right now. I see it pop up the most.
Yeah.
Not exactly this, but like the style. But I think it's not. I think this list is actually better overall. I think it's just like this is a better tournament list, and people bring it to tournaments.
Right.
I think this is a lot easier for people to get their hands on than this. Right. I think that this is a lot easier to travel.
Right.
It's also a better, like, not as many moving pieces.
Yeah.
Play 5 games in 2 days.
Yeah.
Kind of list. And you just basically keep the big things together and power through.
Right.
Right. That's the idea. Oh, that's mine. Yeah. Okay. So, and then how about like a Cruel Boys list? Like what specifically? You said a Killbow?
Yeah, I don't know. Like this, like the Killbow added in, I think would be good. You having the ability to strike me last, right? The crit mortals is, like I said, Nurgle's more defensive against it, but you're breaking the mechanic of them having the really high armor save, which is good. The Bolt Boys are always good.
Yeah, the shooting.
The only problem with the Cruel Boys list is like maybe a little more susceptible to like the plague mechanic.
Yes.
Like the initial plague off the hop. The fact that you're a little more castled up, right? Like it's a little more.
Yeah.
Could be a bit of a factor there.
And then not as much health. Like the pigs have a lot of health.
Yeah.
So it's like you
Lots
can
of
hurt
wounds
them,
on the
but like,
yeah,
it doesn't
that's right.
reduce their damage as much. I don't know.
No, yeah.
So I think I don't know. So like more infantry doesn't seem good against Nurgle. You want almost like less infantry than, you know what I mean? Like it's
doesn't give you as much options to put the plague
so
propagator.
some shooting at a monster that heals. This thing heals too, like a troll. So that's actually kind of good.
Yeah, he's not bad. I like that guy.
Yeah, he's good. And the rest of it's like standard Cruel Boys.
And then you got a couple units of monster killers in there, right? Because they shoot down or they shut down some of the monster.
Yep. So each unit of Gut Rippers has a unit of monster killers that's gonna go with it, and with this aura, redeploy and countercharge.
Right.
But they can't spread. They gotta spread out. Right. They gotta be spread out or whatever. So my auras get all screwed up. Gotta play Nurgle's game. All right. So, which one's the scariest between the armies?
I don't know. I like the Gits list in the middle actually a lot. I think it's a good. I think that's a good list. Like it just has the ability to kind of like match them a bit in the middle, plus deliver some damage with the Bolt Boys and the Killbow and the unit of Bounders hopping in, right? Like it gives you a lot of ability to just flex on like one unit or, you know.
Yeah, target fire.
Yeah,
especially with the Fellwaters too. The Fellwaters combo insanely well with the Bolt Boys and the Killbow. Ooh, your monster is -1 save and can't benefit. Cool. 3 Ren from the Killbow.
Yeah.
It's like no.
Yeah.
And even
gross,
even
man.
middle stuff like other stuff like
Fellwaters are so good.
yeah.
I feel like the
are very
Fellwaters
good.
would be really good against the high armor save, which is good. The Dankhold's always just amazing.
Yep, and I could half your movement speed.
Yeah.
Right.
That would be. I don't got much to begin with. Those Rotswords like most. There's
Well,
4 inches, right?
I'm throwing a Gravetide into your Rotswords. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not even gonna fight them with anything else. I'm just gonna try to send a wave after wave of Gravetides at you.
Yeah, yeah.
And Scragrot. See, Scragrot also shoots in this list too.
Yeah, he's
Right?
always awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Rocket's throwing. There's a lot of shooting in this list.
Yeah.
This was one of my attempts here was to make the most shooting and destruction. right? That's not a cruel boys because you can just spam bolt boys and kill those.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not very good, but you can do it. Oh, like that's actually good.
Yeah, for
This
sure.
list felt great. I think people underutilize Regiments of Renown. I think just because they're not in their collections.
Yeah, I could see
People just don't own them.
people, you know, don't like it as much. They want to play their army for whatever reasons, but it's like, man, you can really lean into some of the strengths of another army that, you know, the lack. Trolls play a really good castle, but like without, it's nice to put the shooting in. So it's like, now I have something where I can just sit back. I can still do damage, and you still got to come to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that list.
Well, there's no like Iron Jaws infantry regiment of renown.
No.
Nope. There's only 2 big pigs.
Yeah.
Maybe Ard boys are a bad idea to give to anybody. Ard boys are pretty tanky. They're no Nurgle tanky.
This is the same thing. Like that's what Damon was running in his list, right? Like he's playing Nurgle, but then he's taking that Chaos Dwarf Army of Renown that takes like those siege weapons or something. So he's putting a bit of shooting into his list, right? So it was like he's got Rotswords pushing the gut, but then some stuff shooting behind. I don't know. Might be a method to the madness there too.
Yeah, okay. So you have to spread out. You have to deal with the Plague Propagator, like whatever. You have to play Nurgle's game. So you have to, the Plague Propagator might just be like a dead unit. It's like it can never get close to anything. You just have to like deal with
at least until like you got to be really smart with where you put that for 2 turns, and then it's like, okay,
it's either dead,
heal it off,
or heal it.
Heal it off when you can. You can't do it turn 1, but turn 2 you can.
It's super annoying. And then after that, you just have to sort of stay spread out.
Because it wasn't so bad, like in your list playing Gits, like where your units are a little more disposable. Because it's like if they die, whatever, they come back. So it's like it's not as big of a deal. But it's like, what if that Plague Propagator, I threw it on like a reinforced unit of Bolt Boys or something? You know what I mean? Like it's like, okay, I'm probably going to take 2d3 mortal wounds or lose maybe 1 or 2 Bolt Boys just from the damage because I can't heal this off. But it's like, then it's like, you might want to heal it off so you can keep pushing that castle up or whatever, right? Like you might.
The thing about Bounders is that they have a really high volume of dice, right? They throw a lot of dice. That's why I think they're super strong.
Yeah.
Besides, their impact mortals are really good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Spread out for the poison. You have to like outflank them and dogpile them. And you have to not be afraid to not fight them. If you're gonna fight them, it has to be overwhelming advantage.
Yeah, you want to like really commit. Yeah, like more than you think.
Like
you need.
like literally everything.
Yeah.
Like just don't fight the Rotswords.
Yeah, charging the Rotswords is like their whole kit is built to take you out if you come into them.
Yeah.
So if you get
me
charging into you with your Rotswords, the best I can get is 3 attacks, and I can't get the +1 to wound. Right? So it's like Rotswords are weaker. I won't say they're weak, but they're weaker if they come into you.
Any other like big tips? Without going into like specific units and combinations, right? Just like what's the mindset of playing Nurgle? Like how do you?
I don't know. They're probably one of the better armies in the game at taking the middle. So it's like you're gonna have to learn how to win a game of Warhammer by taking to the outskirts, going after the side objectives, and playing mobility, because it's like, you know, even like an army like I play like Trolls or something where they're like 6-inch move, it's like they're faster than Nurgle. Lots of the Nurgle infantry's 4-inch move, like they're very slow. So it's like, you know, as soon as some of those units lose the ability to like move and reach you in a turn, it's like, well, that's a turn where they didn't do anything, right? So it's like they might be really good at sitting on the center, but it's like they're not good at chasing down those outskirts, right? So it's like even your units where you think they're slower because they're a 6-inch move or an 8-inch move or whatever, it's like they're still way faster than Nurgle. So it's like those are flanking units now, man. You can send trolls up the side. They're faster than Nurgle. You know, it's like you can do. Yeah.
Is Nurgle an S tier army?
I think right now.
Or is it just that people haven't figured out how to play it?
I think it's
definitely good.
I think it's pretty forgiving for new players. It reminds me a lot of Trolls. Like, you can literally push all your models up into the middle, and you know there's lots of armies you do that with, and you're done. You know, like you like the risk and reward, or they're more glass cannon. Like the armies that receive really well is you know, just more beginner friendly, I believe. So that being said, with them doing really good right now, I think they're in a good spot. And there's some stuff that I think is going to get adjusted. Like there's some stuff that feels underpointed. There's some changes that I think are going to be coming down the pipe for them, for sure.
I think they're going to throw... I think that maybe the reason, too, is that you said they're very forgiving. I think that's spot on. But also that they are... Fuck, what was I going to say? I forget.
Well, that Plague Propagator throws a wrench into... Like, that does something that no other army really does. It's like, it screws with you right in deployment. Like, it
screws with you in deployment, and there's a lot of lists that it just will really be annoying for.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, if you're playing an infantry Iron Jaws, for example, it's like you just kind of lose. Right? Like, you're just going to get poisoned, and you have no ward saves, you have no healing mechanics, right? And then you just can't out-damage Nurgle.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like you have no tricks, right? So it's like there's no strike last in your kit, really. Yeah, and even like Ard Boys with like mortal wound spam, I'm not sure if it would be enough.
Well, it's like it's another army that's like really forgiving to like take a double against too. It's like you can get doubled, and it's like a lot of my buffs stay up, or the fact that I don't need to do this huge elaborate hero phase to put all my buffs on my stuff. They're just there. It's like, okay, we'll just do another round of fighting in this foot sloggy, tar pitted battle. You know, so it's like even, you know, and then they're not scoring a battle tactic, right? And it's like it can snowball on you there too, right? So it's like, yeah, super forgiving.
Yeah, I like it. I don't know. This Gits list I really like.
It is good, man. It's the second you sent it to me, I loved it. Like, I think it's great. I think even counter magicking out shackles for just that tickling mortal wounds, slowing stuff down, shooting, like, you got a lot of stuff that delivers damage on your terms in this, right? Like, there's some good combos for dealing with like the high armor save that Magakin's gonna bring. So like, as just an army, like out of the armies that you got, it's got the most, like, this list looks to me like the most Swiss army. It's got a little bit of everything that can deal with everything I'm bringing. Whereas like some of the other armies were like, you know, like the Gits list before, where there was the unit of wolves in there, or this unit of wolves. It's like I'm looking at a couple units in your army and just going like, I have no fear of that playing Nurgle. Whereas this, it's like every component in here is doing something that could counter kind of what I'm doing, or has damage to get through, you know, like there's not. Whereas like Nurgle, when you're just playing like big armor saves with big wards, it's going to just counter some units in the game that are just like, you brought a Swiss army for your army, but it's like there are units that are just useless against Magotkin and that.
So like what units are useless?
Like low rend, like, you know, like you know, stuff like you need the high rend to get through like the new Rotbringer units that are got the high save. Stuff with mortal wound mechanics is good. Big spike damage is good. Speed is good, right? So it's like if you had like slow units in your army, foot slogging, like if you played something that was going to take the middle that's just not as good at taking the middle as me, it's like I'm going to chew you up.
How about like death?
Yeah, death, like the recursion and stuff, like can be, you know, I'm not as familiar with death. Like I haven't played against as many death armies, so it's like I can't really say too much on them. But yeah, it's tough to say. I know Rotigus is a nightmare for anybody rocking recursion though. That aura stuff shuts down all recursion, all healing. It's a gross like that's why people are saying he's so S tier, I think, is that spell. But it's like it goes off on an 8. Like it's pretty up there. Like it's, you know, you need to really lean into all that to do it.
Can you get a +1?
You can get +2 on him, right? Because he gives a +1 himself, and then you can take the Cyst Witch to make give
so
+1
it goes
to
off
cast.
on a 6.
So it's like, yeah, he's
is it till the start of your next turn?
Yeah, which is pretty strong. But then the +1 to cast, you only get like if you're trying to counter magic it, you only get +1 to cast. The Cyst Witch's ability is your hero phase. So
yeah, but then it's on a 7.
Yeah.
So it's like right. I'm just so you can if you fail it.
Yeah.
You can try it again.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But you'll lose a big chunk of the round or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Nurgle is a good army. I hope they don't get nerfed too bad. What's going to change?
I think there's going to be some combos that are going to get rocked. Like, I think the Rot Sword with the Rotbringer is like a really good combo, and I think the nerf that you'll see is the artifact that gives the extra +1 attack and stuff. Like, I think that might go up a bit, or the points just on the Rotbringer himself, because the Rot Swords themselves are fairly potent on themselves, but it's like it's the hero buffing them that takes them like to 11. Like he's what's doing the whole combo. And then I think the Slaven Knights, you might see an adjustment on them just because they're going to be a popular unit in the army with the strike last and stuff. And then I think the Glotkin's underpointed right now for what he brings. And then I'm not sure about Rotigus so much because everybody's saying he's so S tier, so I could see potentially even him. Like if their win rates are high, they're gonna hit the staple units that are in those lists. And I think a lot of the Rotbringer units and the Glotkin, Rotigus, Cyst Witch, like those are familiar faces in a lot of those lists, I think. They're either playing the caster heavy or the big Rot Sword combos, I feel.
I was just brainstorming some ideas of like how to beat Nurgle with like Iron Jaw's infantry. And I think that, and I was just idly thinking, and I really think that Iron Jaws should really get that smashing and bashing rule back again.
Yeah.
What do you think of that rule as a non-Iron Jaws player? Do you know the rule?
I'm not familiar.
So the rule is that if an Iron Jaws unit kills another unit, they get to immediately fight again.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
So they break the chain. So it would mess with like strike first and strike last. It's like their own kind of strike first kind of.
Yeah, dude, it's a good rule too, for sure, right? And that would be something that, you know, would be like a counter to Maggotkin, right? Because it's like 2 units go in and smash, right? And then they can potentially do enough damage to spike, kill a unit, and go through into the next, right? It's like, yeah, I forgot about that rule. That was a beauty. Why did they take away the good stuff, right?
But say we call it. It's been, how long has it been?
Yeah, dude.
Just about 2 hours, so.
Yeah, sweet.
Thanks for talking, Maggotkin.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me, man. Sweet.